Hey guys, it's Nicole here, back with another video, and in today's video I'm going to be speaking about how you can earn money while studying at university. Now, this is important to talk about because I know quite a lot of people don't know whether or not you can actually hold down a job while studying and getting your degree, and I'm going to sort of explain and show some ways that you can actually work while studying. Not only that, uni is quite expensive and some people kind of might want to be funding their degree whilst studying and working, and which is possible, so I'm going to be showing and explaining ways that that can happen whilst being at uni. Now, my first point to bear in mind is if you are worried about your commitment to a job and not being able to commit on a weekly basis to a job contract, I think it's important to apply to jobs which have a 0 hours contract. Now, for those who don't know, that means basically you can work whenever you want to, and I found that beneficial being at uni because it meant that I can go months on end without working, and then if I want to work, I can work and get a bit of money, but then if I don't want to, there isn't that pressure to do so. Alternatively, if you are concerned about your time commitments, there is the option to be self-employed. So some jobs and some avenues allow you to sort of schedule your own work, so you're in control of when you do want to work and when you don't want to work. And then once again, that further alleviates the pressure of having to work and having to show up to work, for example, on like 15 hours minimum a week contract, or a part-time job every Saturday, for example. A potential avenue which you may want to explore is working with the uni. So the career service at your uni could be sort of like a port of call to advertising other jobs that are particularly in the uni, as well as external opportunities for students. So a lot of the time, like on my university careers portal, we have a lot of different jobs specifically for undergraduates or postgrads or whatever, and it tailors to uni timetable and allows that flexibility for you to study whilst working. And a lot of the jobs are kind of like stewarding for open days, being an ambassador, so many little jobs, and sometimes they'll be seasonal, so it'll be like a job in Easter, a job in Christmas, or a job in summer, and it means that you don't have to always be working. And sometimes it's nice to just work with your uni because a lot of the time you'll know some of the teachers, you'll know some of the students, and it's a good way to meet other friends as well. Another avenue that you could explore for employment is actually working in hospitality. So I have done this over the past 3 years while I was at uni, and I signed up with an agency in my first year and I'm still with them now. And I went for like almost like a year without working there, and then I did like a festival that I spoke about in my other video, and I can like chop and change and pick whenever I want to work, which is particularly handy in uni because it means that, for example, some courses have a reading week. I had a reading week. It meant that in that reading week, if I didn't have a lot of work, I could actually do hospitality work. And because it's 0 hours contract, you can literally work for like 12-hour days. There's been times where I started work at like 9:15 and ended at midnight, and they can sometimes they can overwork you in a sense that like there's been times where I've had employees, I've done events and stuff, and they literally don't really care as long as you're there. Like, they don't care how many hours you've been working, which I know for some people they don't really mind because at the end of the day you're getting your money, but that is a good way to kind of get a lot of money in a small amount of time because they are not working on the standard 9 to 5. They're literally working for however long the event is. And sometimes when I was doing hospitality work, the events would sometimes end at like 1-2 in the morning, and if you think about that for the whole day, that's quite a lot of pay. I also recommend looking on Indeed and actually advertising the fact you are a student, because sometimes a lot of employers will be specifically looking for students and looking for fresh faces who are studying, and especially for things in like internships and things that are tailored towards your course. Indeed has loads of, and other search engines have loads of different jobs that basically advertise all these work opportunities, as well as being a catalogue to explore the different avenues that you may want to look into. There's also the opportunity to do jobs with short, non-permanent contracts. I think they're called non-permanent contracts. I had to think about that one, but they're basically like they'll be hiring someone for 3 months. So you could essentially, if you knew the layout of your course and you knew, for example, in your second term work was going to pick up, say for example you had exams in your second term, you could say like, right, I've got this 3-month contract for my first term, you work for the 3 months as well as studying, and then in your second term you don't work. I see this quite a lot with internships. So I know specifically with my University of Bristol, on our careers portal, they had loads of internships that were just like, for example, like 140 hours in from June to July, and that's a form of employment. It is an internship, but it's just getting that small bulk of money, and quite a few internships do that. So that's something to keep an eye on in your career service as well as externally. What I found to also be helpful is to do online tutoring, or like I did tutoring in person before coronavirus, and it's just kind of a way to strengthen your subject knowledge. For example, if you did subject specific tutoring, and it's just another way to work around your schedule, so you can sort of book your sessions when you don't have uni, and I found that to be quite helpful. And also, if you were doing it yourself, you can charge your own rates as well, and tutors really are sought after, so that is something to bear in mind. And I also found whilst tutoring, it also improved my confidence academically, because you're constantly going over stuff and then you start to really know and consolidate your knowledge, so it could be beneficial financially as well as academically. Lastly, I'd recommend looking at online work. So this can also be obviously tutoring, as I just mentioned, and other things. So a lot of the work can be online now, especially with everything going on. And I find that doing online work allows you that flexibility to work alongside your studies as well, because you don't have to account for travel time and all the extras that come with having to actually go to work. You could do it on your study break in the library, and or even from the comfort of your own home, and it allows you, as I said, that flexibility, and it kind of takes the pressure off you having to go to a part-time and working in a coffee shop, for example. That is all for my tips and tricks on how to earn money at uni. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you got to the end, please give this video a massive thumbs up, and if you aren't already, please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.